I want to thank everyone for watching the video on the tips of putting your Schwinn Meridian bike together. And because so many people watched that and asked some questions, I've decided to make some additional videos. And one of the questions that was asked is, how do you adjust the back drum brake? Now, to stop, really, you want to use your front brake. That's what's going to stop you. I don't care how well you adjust this back drum brake. That's really not going to make you stop. If you want to stop, this front brake is what you want to use, but be careful because it will stop. The first thing that you'll want to do is adjust the cable that's up on your brake on the hand brake. And there's a knurled, two knurled screws. You loosen them, you adjust the one knurl out, and then the one closest to the brake you'll tighten up to lock it in place. And what that's doing is stretching the cable out. So if there's some slack in the cable or in the brake as it's worn, you'll be able to adjust it out here. Now there may be a problem if you need to. Down below here where the cable comes to the brake, there's an adjustment there also. And you will need a 7 and 10 millimeter wrench. The 7 millimeter will go on the little it's a ferrule, and then the 10 millimeter will go on the nut. You would loosen the nut, and then with the 7 millimeter, you will turn the ferrule. That's what this cable goes into, and if you turn it counterclockwise, that will pull the cable tighter, and if you have some wearness of your brake or your cable has stretched, you should be able to take the slack up with that ferrule. And if it's rubbing, if your brake is rubbing, you can just take the ferrule and go clockwise, and that will give you a little bit more cable. And then this nut right here, this is your jam nut, just like up on the handlebars. And when you get your brake adjusted to where you want, you just take your other wrench and you want to hold your ferrule and then just tighten that jam nut, and now you have adjusted your brake. Now, if your brake needs a lot of adjusting, there is where the cable goes through, there is a nut, and you would take that nut loose, and you could, if you broke your cable, that's how you would go ahead and thread a new cable through. But right here is where the cable goes through for your brake, and on the back side there's a nut, and if you loosen that nut up, you can pull the cable tighter or looser, and that's a huge major adjustment. So unless you have a real big problem, you shouldn't be worrying or dealing anything with that. Either the ferrule right here on your brake, or on the ferrule and the jam nut up here on your handlebar. That should be enough to adjust your brake. But again, like I said, your front brake is the one that's going to stop you, not your back brake. But that is how you adjust this drum brake here. That's how I would do that. That's my suggestion. And I thank you for watching the video. And if there's any questions, just put the comments down below.